Torah Life Ministries, come out of the world.
Hello everybody, it's Paul Neeson with Torah Life Ministries, and last week I spoke about the narrow gate and the narrow way, the narrow road, and I want to continue on this teaching in Matthew 7. It talks about false prophets, but the opposite of a false prophet is a true prophet. The opposite of somebody who is not showing the fruit is somebody who is showing the fruit. And here it talks about in Matthew 7:15, beware of false prophets who come in disguise as harmless sheep, but are really wolves. You can identify them by their fruit. That is by the way they act. So just as you can identify the false prophets and the non-believers by the way they act, you can also identify the believers by the way they act. Act is a short word for action. Our actions determine where our heart truly is. It goes on to say, here later in this verse, it goes on to say in Matthew 7:20, just as you can identify a tree by its fruit, so you can identify people by their actions. So there are many people that call themselves believers, but they're not acting according to the scriptures, the guidelines and instructions, how it tells us to act and how it tells us to be. And regardless of what somebody says with their mouth, what really sets the example of who they are is their actions and what they do. It says building a foundation on a strong ground, or building a strong foundation. Going on in Matthew 7:21, not everyone who calls out to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven. Only those who actually do the will of my Father in heaven will enter. Well, what is his will? If you call yourself a believer of the Most High, do you even know what his will is? Well, guess where his will can be found? First of all, Yeshua taught it. The Messiah taught his will. But where did he teach it from? He taught it right from the scriptures. Specifically, the first 5 books of the Bible, which is the foundation of all the scriptures, known as the Torah. And it's that where he says to do the will. Well, you have to know what the will is first, and then you have to take actions to follow it up. It says in the next verse here, actually in Matthew 7:23, it says, but I will reply, I never knew you. Get away from me, you who will break my Father's guidelines and instructions. You who break the Torah. Anyone here that says that the original covenant is done away with, can you explain right here why it says Yeshua will say, I never knew you because you did not keep Torah? That's exactly what it says here in Matthew 7:23. Get away from me because you did not keep Torah. And then it goes on to say in Matthew 7:24, anyone who listens or obeys my teaching, and his teaching is the will of his Father, which is Torah. That's why he's known as the living Torah. So anyone who listens and follows it is wise. And another way to say that is, anyone who keeps Torah, or anyone who keeps the guidelines and instructions, is wise, like a person who built a house on a solid rock. But then it says, those who hear my teaching and do not obey it is foolish, like a person who built a house on sand. Are you a wise person that wants to build a solid foundation in your relationship with Messiah? Or are you one that builds a foundation on sand, which is just foolish because when the rain comes, it all washes away? This is what's happening today, I'm afraid, in the congregations around the country. You have people saying one thing, but their actions aren't showing who they are. Their action isn't glorifying our Creator. But even worse, we've been giving the warning here in the renewed covenant, just as we had in the original covenant. They were never done away with, the guidelines and instructions. It says, from me, you who will get away from me, you who will break the Torah. It goes on to say, anyone who listens to the Torah and obeys and follows it is a wise person, but those that don't are foolish. Have you been foolish in your walk with Messiah? Have you been one of those people that say the old covenant is done away with, it's replaced by the new covenant, so we don't have to do anything, we can do whatever we feel is best because we got the blood of Messiah? That's a very foolish thing to say. Or have you been one of those wise people building a solid foundation saying, well, I want to be wise and I want him to know who I am and I don't want him to say he never knew me, so I am going to listen to what he says here, right here in the new covenant, right here in the renewed covenant. It says, anyone who listens to my Torah is considered a wise person. I pray that you will be a wise person. And if you, like many other people, have been misled to not follow his guidelines and instructions, also known as the Torah, it's never too late. Well, let me say it can be too late, but it's not too late now to change and get right with his word. Yesterday doesn't matter. It's today and in the future that matters. Are you going to start glorifying our Creator to learn His Word and start following the first 5 books of the Scriptures and then continue to read all the way through to see the testimonial of what happens when you follow those first 5 books known as the Torah? And then you could really see what's going to happen in Revelations, because there's 2 types of people, the obedient and the disobedient, or the foolish and the wise. We all have a choice. Today I give before you life and death. Choose life so you may live. This word is life, but you have to take action and follow it up. The way you act determines what you truly believe. And if you truly are a believer in Messiah Yeshua, you want to act according to what He told us to do, and that can be found in the Torah. So stop listening to people that say it's done away with, it's not done away with, and start listening to His guidelines and instructions. Don't be foolish. Be wise, and you will be blessed. All right, if you have any comments or questions, just post them below the video. Until then, everybody, thanks for checking us out, and shalom, shalom.
Torah Life Ministries come out of the world. Messiah people seek the truth. Come out of the world, oh my people.